What's going on? It's Anno Domini here, and welcome to today's artist training, where basically I want to teach you how to get the most out of a major artist feature. And really, the first step when it comes to that is a little piece of game that I'm calling how to ethically steal major artists' fans. And when I say stealing someone's fans, I use that term pretty loosely because obviously, music fans can be a fan of more than one artist at the same time. So what you're really doing is just branching out those fans to embrace your music as well, right? So you're basically finding fans of a major artist, let's say Snoop Dogg, and then getting those fans to also be followers of yours, fans of yours, because you have a collab with Snoop. So that's kind of your in into his fan base, right? So what we're doing is leveraging that big name. We're leveraging his fans, his clout, his fame, and then basically taking a small piece of that for ourselves to benefit our careers as independent artists. So the very simplest and most straightforward way that you can do this is once you have your collab track out, is to actually directly contact fans of the major artists. So say, for example, it's, let's say 50 Cent, right? So you have a collaboration coming out or already released with 50 Cent. You can go on 50 Cent's Instagram page, for example. You can find all the people that are following 50 Cent, and then you can start engaging and building a relationship with them and promoting your track in obviously a non-spammy way. Now, the sort of beginner entry-level way of doing that is just literally just going through their list and like starting to add people, commenting on their stories, dropping maybe a like in their story or on their posts, and then messaging them directly, saying something along the lines of like, hey, what's up, man? I saw you're a fan of 50 Cent. Me too, big fan. I'm actually collaborating with them on this new track. Would you like to get a sneak peek? You can be one of the first ever listeners. That way you kind of, building into their fan, excitement about a 50 Cent track. You're also providing value because you're giving them something for free, right? You're not asking for something necessarily. You're not saying like, hey, can you buy my single? Can you listen to this track? You're saying, can I give you a free preview of this new track or something along those lines? You always want to lead with value because the fastest way to get a no or to get blocked or for somebody to just ignore you is just by asking something, upfront. You don't want to do that. You want it to be like a natural conversation and building a relationship slowly. Now, obviously, just going through major artists' fans one by one can be pretty tedious. Probably not the best way to do it. A step beyond that would be to actually go to their posts, to their stories, and seeing who's liking that, and more importantly, who's commenting, because those are more likely to be those engaged super fans, right? The guys who are literally like posting on every 50 Cent post on Instagram. Those are going to be like definitely hotter leads, the better people to engage with, the super fans. So if you can message and embrace and contact those people, you're definitely a step above just randomly messaging their fans. Now, the very best thing you could do is actually looking out for comments from people who either went to a show or bought the new album from 50 Cent and posts about it, because those are the engaged shoppers, right? The super fans who are actually spending money on an artist. So, you would look out for a post from 50 Cent, for example, talking about his tour or talking about, a new album or a track that he released or some kind of merch item. Just going through the comments and seeing who said like, oh, I copped this, or I went to see you in Vegas or whatever it is, or I got the new album. It's crazy. Those are going to be the super fans, the most engaged fans. So those are the ones you want to prioritize when it comes to this kind of a strategy. So definitely start there and build from there onwards. Okay, so that is step one, right? Leveraging the fan base of the artists directly. Step two would be to look at some kind of third-party platforms or websites or forums full of 50 Cent fans, right? So this could be a fan forum. It could be a blog site about 50 Cent. It could be maybe an Instagram or social page or YouTube channel with fans of 50 Cent. Any number of those kind of things that you can basically interact with. So again, it's super important to find out where do your potential target fans hang out. Who is the influencer or the website owner or the article writer on a blog who is in charge of basically reaching out to those fans. And then how can you engage with them the best way possible? And again, that's all about leading with value. And I'll give you some creative solutions and tips about that in a moment. But anyway, so you found some websites, you found some fan forums, you found some blog articles, websites, fan social pages, channels, all that kind of good stuff. And then you can directly interact with the forum users, with the people who are commenting on the stories, with the followers of that page too, likewise in the same fashion. And also, maybe more importantly, you can be contacting those sort of influencers who are in charge of that community. So that could be the website owner, for example. Because if you can get their information and you can network with them, they might be willing to, promote your content, your track with whoever it is, 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, Tech9, you name it, right? So that is obviously going to be a very, very critical step right there to find out who operates that entire network and then building a relationship with them. And again, leading with value could be, for example, hey, I want to give this new Tech9 collaboration I just did to you exclusively. I want your community to listen to it and give me feedback. Or it could be, hey, I'm doing a remix contest for this Tech9 single I just released. I want your community to be involved. Would you post about it? That's leading with value, right? You're giving them something which is valuable to them. And then in exchange, you could ask for a promotion or whatever they're willing to give you on your side to promote your track. So obviously, there's a lot of different directions you can take this in terms of reaching out to these sort of influencers who are in charge of the fan communities. This could also be a fan club president, for example, or something along those lines. So definitely do your research and find out who those key players are who have access to, who are not just individual fans, but who have access to a whole network of fans, because obviously that can be a way to immediately target a big group of potential fans of the major artists. Okay, so we talked about hitting up individual fans. We talked about hitting up those third-party platforms or influencers who are in charge of whole fan communities. Thirdly, let's talk about how you can get your song out to playlists and to YouTube channels and to radio rotation and stuff like that. And the way that you do that, first and foremost, of course, super important that you have your SEO on point. So, in the metadata of the track that you're releasing, you want to prominently feature the major artist, whether it's, let's go with Tech9, for example, right? So first of all, your track should always be featuring Tech9, because if you get a major feature collaboration, you can never put them as a primary artist. That's the surefire way to get blacklisted by, Spotify and iTunes and stuff like that. So always the featuring artist. But in the album description and the tags and so on, if you're uploading to YouTube, to SoundCloud, you want to make sure you put their name in there. And you want to make sure you put any associations in there or aliases too. So for Tech9, that would be, for example, Strange Music, or maybe the name of his most recent album and that kind of stuff. And in the description, you want to make sure that it actually is descriptive, right? That it includes all the information about your release. It includes the name of the featured artist, their label and all that good stuff. Because all of that is information that's digested by the algorithm of those sites to basically decide whether, when somebody types in, Tech9 into YouTube, whether your track comes up or not. So super important that you get that right. Also, presentation is going to be key. You can't be expecting to be added to a playlist, for example, if you don't have good artwork for your single, if you don't have, an appropriately titled track that's not full of expletives and stuff like that. You can't expect to be added to a curated Spotify playlist if you don't have a verified artist account, which is super easy to do. Or a good bio, some kind of description about yourself as an artist. Because when these playlist curators are looking for tracks and they stumble upon your page or find your track in some fashion, if they just see like a blank page with no information, not verified, they're much more likely to just, choose someone else above you. So it's really important that you get that kind of like little minutiae and details right in order to stand out from the mass of, should we say, less professional up and coming artists who are not doing that stuff. Now, in order to get the best possible chance of being added to playlists and stuff like that, getting picked up for radio rotation on digital radio stations, again, it's all about networking, right? Don't just think that if you put out great music, someone is going to randomly discover it and then just want to put you on blast. No. The way it works is you look up who actually owns these playlists, who curates them, who operates them, and then reach out to those people. Find their information, whether it's posted, on Spotify, on the playlist itself, maybe in their bio. Maybe if they have a website, you can go to the Contact Us and reach them that way. Or you literally just type into Google, like owner of 50 Cent playlist or whatever it is. And chances are you might find that information on there. And then what you want to do is you reach out to them, you build a relationship. Again, you lead with value and then hope that they will reciprocate with value. It's much more likely that they want to do something for you if you do something for them first. And that could take any number of directions. It could be, I want to give you this exclusive song. Here's a song, but I also looked up 5 other great songs that you should consider. So you're basically doing some of the work for them and, making it much more likely that they're going to want to do something for you. So again, collaboration, networking, building relationships. That's what it's all about to really take you to the place where you want to be with all of this. Now, another thing that I should mention, getting discovered on music platforms. So this is the 4th thing that I want to talk about. If you want to have the best possible chance of being discovered on sites like YouTube or SoundCloud, it's critical that when you first publish and release your music, the first 24 hours is really when you want to hit it hard. You want to send traffic there. Because the way that these algorithms work, the way that they decide whether they should be promoting a new Tech 9 or 50 Cent collaboration to 50 Cent fans is how much traction it gets quickly. So the first 24 hours are key, and then the next 24 hours after that are key again. And each one of those tranches, basically sites like YouTube is deciding like, hey, is this music, is this video, is this music relevant? And if it is, if it's getting a lot of traction, a lot of comments, a lot of plays, then I'm going to be pushing it out to more cold audiences, new audiences, right? Not just your followers on those sites, but completely new audiences, and especially fans of those major artists like 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, whatever the case may be. So what I actually recommend doing is doing a rollout of your track one by one per platform, not just pushing it out to everything at the same time. That way you can really, kind of focus on, let's say, YouTube. Then you can send all your fans and your traffic and stuff like that over to YouTube and try to blow it up in the first 24 to 48 hours or 72 hours. And then after that, you do the same thing on SoundCloud. You do the same thing on wherever else, Reverb Nation, all those different platforms that you want to be pushing out to. So again, if you want to get discovered, if you want to open yourself out to as big an audience as possible, try to hit those things fast, big, and early. So as quickly as possible when you first drop something on those platforms. That's the critical period right there. And that's kind of the secret to the algorithm on those sites is really just, being relevant, but obviously having the tags, the information, the description filled out, having the artist's name in the title, and then, hitting it hard with the first 24 hours and so on. That's the critical period right there. All right, so hopefully with those 4 tips right there, that's going to give you some kind of a clue as to where to start off with your journey and how to really maximize this whole thing with the major artist feature. I will be pushing out some more training videos, and I'll have some special guests and friends helping me with that as well. So stay tuned for more. I hope this has been useful. That's all from me, AD, and I'll see you next time.